Kenyatta in Los Angeles. Hey, Kenyatta, what's on your mind today?
Mr. Hartmann, I know that you've covered this all week, and you are well aware, given your stellar intellect, that there is a congressional hearing being conducted with regards to the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Now, I have been bothered for the almost 2 months since that event with something that I don't know why it's not the most prominent thing on everyone's mind, and that's this. As I watch those people climbing those walls and having some training and background in law enforcement, there's something that you spend about a week on or two called riot control, and there's certain deployments as the situation escalates. I saw none of that, Tom. I saw these people. And I'm sure you probably saw this. There's a video of a black police officer in the Capitol actually moving up the stairs backwards in retreat while this mob comes after him, and he's basically in absolute fear. There was absolutely none of the aggression that I saw in Los Angeles in 1992 and in other places around the country in the last year. I am astounded because I keep asking myself, and let me cut to the chase here. I'm calling you for a sanity check, Tom, because I'm wondering, I cannot get my arms around the fact that if these people were black people or people that looked like me climbing those walls, attacking those officers, that the outcome would have been the same. I did not see any CS gas, meaning chemical shield gas, being deployed by other than the assailants. I saw these cops actually in retreat mode. I didn't see any baton strikes. Within hours of the 1992 riots in Los Angeles, we had the National Guard on the street with truck-mounted machine guns. Am I missing something here, Mr. Hartmann?
No. And you know it well, Kenyatta. When black people behave, I'm going to say poorly, but you know what I'm talking about. Sure. The response can be murderous. When white people behave poorly, the response is largely to ignore it, give them a pass, let it go. I mean, this is the history of America, and it's continuing in a big way. And yes, if the people attacking the Capitol on January 6th had been black, the response would have been entirely different. And if the rally, in fact, had been mostly black people, there would have been. I mean, there was a Black Lives Matter rally in Washington, D.C. just a few weeks before that, maybe a month before that. I don't recall the exact date, where the National Guard was out in force, and it was just a rally, and there was no violence at all. And so I think you're absolutely right, Kenyatta, and I think that this was something that the Donald Trump and his criminal co-conspirators planned. I think it was planned in advance. I think the final preparations were laid on January 5th in this meeting in the Trump Hotel that apparently Senator Tuberville was in. I think that he should be questioned about this. I think it's kind of bizarre that the House and Senate are investigating something that members of the House and Senate apparently participated in, giving tours to these insurrectionists in advance, these white supremacists in advance. And I am hoping, and I don't want to see a 9/11 style commission that whitewashes this the way they whitewashed 9/11 and the way that they whitewashed the Kennedy assassination. They kind of bleached Saudi involvement out of the 9/11 thing, and they bleached mafia involvement out of the Kennedy killing. And I just, I think that what we need is some serious badass prosecutors with a grand jury or two going after this and going after people in power. And hauling the people who were in that meeting in the Trump Hotel the night before a grand jury and questioning them under oath and nailing them if they lie. There is something really evil going on here, Kenyatta, and it's grounded in white supremacy, the ideology of white supremacy, and the maintenance, the ongoing maintenance, which the GOP has advocated since '65, and which the Democratic Party advocated before '65, of maintaining white power and white wealth as the principal pillar of America. And it's got to end, because there's so much talent being destroyed, or never having an opportunity to express itself. I mean, quick, name a black billionaire. There's 670, I think, billionaires in the United States. There's 7 of them who are black. Black people are 14.5% of the U.S. population. They're not 14.5% of the billionaires, or even the multimillionaires, or even the politicians, or the people in power in any position. There is a reason for that. It's 400 years of white supremacy and racism.
Well, Tom.
Okay, back to you.
There's some areas. Well, there's some areas where we do rank first now. We do rank first in incarceration. We rank first in every negative health outcome in whatever disease there is. So now, don't give us short.
You are making my point, sir. Yes.
But I do want to say to you real quick. One of the interesting things. You mentioned Donald Trump and his advance notice, and it was really interesting to watch the spin on the legal arguments during the impeachment from the Republicans. They were saying, well, these people had planted pipe bombs, and these people had equipment, and so obviously this was not a result of his rally speech, but it was planned before. But what they don't understand, that everybody's not stupid enough to understand this, he already knew before. That's why he did what he did. And let me tell you something. Before Donald Trump spoke, his son spoke. If you haven't seen that speech, you need to hear that speech. Right before Donald Trump at that rally on January 6th spoke, his son spoke. Last point I want to make is this, Tom. With regards to that Capitol insurrection and the oddity, and thank you for the sanity check of it, every day we're finding more and more police officers were not only aiding and abetting it, that were with the Capitol Police and the D.C. Police, but also police officers in the crowd.
Right. They're up to 65 now that they've pulled off duty and are in the process of investigating. And that's very troubling. I mean, the infiltration of police departments and of the military. Mikey Weinstein blew the whistle on this with regard to the Air Force Academy 15 years ago. I had him on this program because his son was in the Air Force Academy, and his son wasn't even black. He was Jewish. But he was being discriminated against, essentially, and harassed because he was Jewish. I mean, it's not just white; it's white fundamentalist Christianity, but it's mostly white, and this is a cancer, and it's a psychological cancer, it's a political cancer, it's a social cancer. And it has damaged our republic for hundreds of years, and we need to excise it. We need to cut this cancer out and move forward with a pluralistic, egalitarian, multiracial society, which we can do. And
well, if it doesn't happen, Tom, if it doesn't happen, the United States, which is a very young as nations go, will not survive. It's continued to be the cancer that you talked about, and you spoke just a few moments ago about the connection between law enforcement, and you and I both know this history intimately, and slave patrols, and that is a nexus to what happened to at January 6th. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Kenyatta. Good talking with you as always, and I'll keep following you over on Medium and Medium.com and Op-Ed News. Thank you.
Ow.